Harding County in northeastern New Mexico. It's here that our story begins. Over the plateaus and canyons near the village of Mosquero, the sound of an airplane can be heard. A single motor ship flying low. To many of the people here, this plane, the Spirit of St. Joseph, has a special significance. It's the plane that brings their priest, the Reverend Fred Stottmiller. This is the story of 2 days, he'd call them 2 ordinary days in his life. For 6 years, Father Stottmiller has been piloting his own plane. Today, he's on his way to Gallegos to conduct a funeral for a ranch hand. 2 men wait for him at the tiny field he uses for an airstrip there. Although his 11 mission churches are spread out over a 4,000 square mile area, the Padre can overcome the handicap of distance by flying from his main parish, St. Joseph's in Mosquero, to wherever his duties take him. Later, Father Stottmiller officiates at solemn services for the deceased. Friends from nearby ranches join the family as the simple wooden coffin is carried to the tiny graveyard alongside the mission church. To the main parish in Mosquero, Father Stottmiller returns in his plane in the late afternoon to conduct evening devotions. Most of his parishioners are Spanish Americans, the majority of them small farmers or ranchers, and he's been their priest now for 8 years. Next morning, as he's eating breakfast in the parish house, a young girl from the village comes to see the Padre. She brings a very special and difficult problem. The wise and friendly counsel of the priest is always available to his flock, and he listens attentively as the girl tells her story. Her playmate Pedro is a bully. He teases her, fights with her, is cruel to her. Won't Father talk to him? The Padre says that he will, at once, and his questioning soon discloses that the girl is right, that Pedro's conduct in the matter leaves something to be desired. An amicable settlement, even though Pedro soon drops the arm around the shoulder. At any event, peace seems momentarily restored. When his work and studies permit, Father Stottmiller turns to his chief hobby, his birds. He raises canaries, occasionally sells them to members of his parish. He's also a crack shot, likes to hunt deer and other game. Much of his spare time is spent keeping his plane in constant readiness. He borrowed $2,000 from a friend to buy it, and it served him and his neighbors well. He's grown accustomed to emergency messages like this: a sick baby, a telephone call, a mother's plea for help. The Padre talks to the young mother. Husband away on business, baby sick, getting worse. No doctor nearby. Please hurry, Father. She's at an isolated ranch 50 miles away. He can get there in less than an hour. While the mother comforts the ailing baby, the priest heads for the ranch. He'll have to land in a nearby field, but he's used to that. He flies 12,000 miles a year, has more than 1,200 hours in the log. Five minutes after the phone call, the mother sees the Spirit of St. Joseph bank over her house. Ten minutes later, Father Stockmiller prepares to take off with his precious cargo. His destination is Tucumcari, where an ambulance is waiting at the airport to rush the child to a hospital. This is the end of the journey. The airport at Tucumcari. The ambulance is waiting. The hospital is only minutes away. There's no brass band here, no cheering crowds, no newspaper men clamoring for a headline. Just an ambulance driver, an anxious mother, sick baby, and their priest. At the hospital, the baby will be treated and nursed back to health. And that, really, is the only reward ever asked by the Spirit of St. Joseph's Flying Padre.